You are now listening to Fourth Down Fiasco, Season 2.
Fires, Mike Sims, Walker, knocked down.
Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again.
Jackson takes it himself. Look at him dart back and forth. Oh! He broke his ankles.
I have never seen this before in my life.
Still looking, firing, near corner. It's caught.
Denver, unbelievable.
And welcome to the Fourth Down Fiasco.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fourth Down Fiasco, your go-to podcast for all things football, brought to you by BetStamp. You know the drill. You know what it is. Check them out at signupexpert.com/fiasco. Place a $10 bet. I'm not going to do the full thing because, more importantly, today is a very, very important day. Danny is doing his happy dance right now. Episode 100! Woo! 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 Ah, yes, that is correct. Your favorite shit show of a podcast. Ooh, we got sound effects today, too. Yo. Your favorite shit show of a podcast has reached its 100th episode. We've been doing this for about 2 years now. And, you know, Danny, I'll give you a moment to say thank you, but I also want to just say thanks, everybody, for listening up to this point. We really do appreciate it. And the fact that people actually listen to us now and comment and care is so cool. Definitely something that we had no idea about whenever we started this up 2 years ago. Also didn't know that we were going to be leading, all the news in Europe for American football. But alas, here we are 100 episodes later. And Danny, would you like to also say your thank yous to the people?
There's not much to add from what Jordan just said, but I mean, it's funny thinking about it. We started Fourth Down Fiasco wanting to be an NFL podcast. And next thing we know, we're in week 14 starting a podcast and we're like, not the brightest idea.
No, can't say it was.
But hey, everything happens for a reason. Somehow we stumbled upon this random league in Europe and here we go. Making phone calls, flying over to Europe twice in a summer to go watch 3 football games, spending countless hours on Saturday morning at 5 a.m. watching football.
Gosh, yes. Or trying to, or having to wake up at 5 a.m. to interview people over in Europe before we have to go to work and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a joy for sure.
Yeah. And thanks everyone for listening and interacting mostly. Like this last season was so much fun, especially on just social media and all that.
Don't get me wrong. The play numbers and stuff are nice, and we have enjoyed seeing those increase over the past 2 years. You know, that's how we know that people are actually listening to what we have to say. But even more than that, it's definitely the interactions. Love hearing from people. Even with our little Fiasco awards that we were giving out this past ELF season, the amount of shit talking that went around the league that people weren't even tagging us in. They were just like, "Oh, you better watch out. You finna get that Fiasco award, my boy." Just like stuff like that in Instagram comments really, really makes this worth it, you know?
And like, I was just looking back through some stuff, and even after the championship game, like Hennessy came over. He's like, after I threw that pick, I didn't want to be Mr. Fiasco. He's like, it's like, bro, you're in the middle of a championship game and you're thinking about a pointless award on social media. It's like, even when Aiken came back, he sent us a DM. He's like, I just don't want to be Mr. Fiasco.
Yep. Yeah.
It's so funny.
And it was incredibly ironic because then he became Mr. Fiasco.
Oh, yeah. And then, 3 days later with 3 picks or whatever and 10 yards.
But hey, he got his big dog performance the week after, so it was fine.
But no, it's just so fun. And just the community around it. And it's like, it's so funny. It's like, you should make friends on the internet, but guess
here
what
we are.
We made a bunch of friends on the internet.
A lot of friends that we can't pronounce the names of, but that's okay.
No, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then a couple of, British assholes like Matt Bressington.
And yeah, I guess Alex isn't British.
I was gonna say Alex Malchan. I was like, well, he's British, but he's not. Yeah.
I met another Brit, Tebs, over there with Matt during the championship game. So yeah, we know a couple.
Tebs leave us a question for the mailbag that we have later?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's a fun dude. I did a couple interviews with him. He does a depth chart sports. He covers Uniball.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Tell your dog to shut up.
What?
Tell your dog to shut up.
Oh, could you hear me?
No, but I figured.
Oh, you saw me turn around. I was like, I promise I muted my mic. We're getting close to his feeding time, and he's been a very impatient boy the past few weeks. So, but okay, so episode 100. Part of the reason why it's been so great is because we've been covering this European League of Football that has been experiencing a lot of drama this off season. Originally it was the ELF, and then there was the European Football Alliance, the EFA, which was, like the top 11 teams of the ELF making a coalition. And it was really to kind of like force the hand of Zelko and, other ELF like top officials to kind of like step down and give the power back to the teams and to make a little bit more of a democracy, yada, yada, yada. And then we got hit with a curveball.
That was a big curveball.
Yeah.
Like a Tim Lincecum 2012 curveball that literally just went from here to here.
Yeah, dude. And so, things got really confusing with this American football, the League of Europe, as it's called. And Danny and I have been kind of looking into it a little bit. I'm a little bit more on the player side, but Danny learned some very interesting financial things about the AFLE that we think that is good to be transparent about with our fans.
Yeah. You hear a lot of things. Who knows if it's true or not to begin with? Mm-hmm. I mean, we're all hearing it through the grapevine. Who knows where it's coming from? What I have heard, if it's true or not, that with the AFLE or the AFLE, the AFLE, I hope that sticks. But with their investor, basically, they got a big old investor to come in from the U.S., basically to run the league, and that they're almost bribing teams and players to kind of join the league, it seems, is from
Rutrow.
And I mean, if you were in the ELF the last couple years, and you weren't making much money, and it's someone come over and said, hey, we'll give you a couple €100,000 or more.
Yeah.
That's enticing. I mean, like, maybe Helvetic will jump over. I don't know. They've been losing money. Stuttgart just filed for bankruptcy or insolvency or whatever. Berlin joined the AFL, and they didn't do well last year. It's like, who else is going to jump ship? Who else is going to take the money? It's a pretty chunky change.
Well, and what we've talked about, and the thing that I am starting to realize is I'm collecting more and more information from players across the league, is two things. Number one, the players have no idea what is going on whatsoever. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because I did reach out to quite a number of players. And some of them who listen to this pod. So, i.e. Ben Holmes, don't be mad at me for saying that. There's a number of players that are as confused as we are. And a lot of them really, they know exactly what we know of. There is a split league, and they know that Zelko hasn't given up everything that he's supposed to from the ELF. And the AFLE is supposed to bring in 4 extra teams. That is like player by player, pretty much every guy that I talked to, that is all they said. And I'm like, cool. So nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah. Got it. And it's funny, like from the player stance, they're hearing one thing. And the rumors I'm hearing is Zelko doesn't have much power anymore. Yeah. Is that true? I don't know.
Well, you've been hearing some things from some owners, which that one's a little bit more spicy. I feel like the info that they gave was a little bit more tangible, if you will.
To an extent, maybe, I don't know. But I mean, it seems like everyone we talk to says different stuff.
Yeah. And it's been so hard to like break down all this information and try to make any sense of it because, when one player is telling you, oh, yeah, no, the AFLE has all this money and all this backing, and that's how they're getting these 4 extra teams. And you've got other players that are like, yeah, the AFLE is a complete smokescreen and is just a way to try and get Zelko to step down entirely. Like, it's like, all right, at what point do we find something in the middle that we can all kind of agree on is the truth?
Yeah. It's like, we know there's a big investor from the US, from numbers I heard, almost basically double-digit millions, like tens of millions of dollars. Not a lot, but enough to run a league for a couple years and to kind of quote unquote bribe. But I mean that's a hard term to bribe. It's who knows for a fact. And if anyone from the AFLE wants to come talk to us,
hey,
open. Like,
yeah, a line is always open.
We had the other episode when we came back to the ELF stuff. We were talking about the AFLE and we called it Tanner called it the team in the league multiple times. We said smoke show. We got multiple DMs that are like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. Do more research. And it's like,
rather than come talk to me.
Like, we're doing as much research as we can with the limited amount of information as we had. It's like,
well, one of the things that I have noticed, and this is something that we saw issues with the ELF as well, is I think that there is a certain atmosphere and or culture, if you will, with upper management of these teams that whenever there is news to be had, they will DM us, even if we get things right, because this has happened in the past, where we get things right and then they tell us that we're completely wrong and we have no idea what we're talking about. And then a couple of weeks later, it's normally that we're right. And I think this is one of those situations, to be quite honest, they're wanting to keep the AFLE stuff under wraps as much as possible. Whatever the final, their reasoning, their rationale for making the league comes out. I have my suspicions, especially based on the financial stuff that we know, that this could be one of two things. And I'll talk about this a little bit more. I'm going to article drop here, but I have an article coming out on Friday that's going to really break down a lot of this stuff. But so we know with the financials that there's an investor that's bringing in $10+ million supposedly. We did find that his licensing is through the state of Wyoming, not too far from Danny's other office up there in Casper, which is really funny to us. Which is significant because Wyoming can be a bit of a tax haven for rich people, which is smart.
No fault to them. Yeah, they're using the loopholes that the U.S. government gave them.
Hey, yep, gotta do what you gotta do. What I do find
business, at least.
Yeah, what I do find interesting though is the payout and payment structure that they have with this $10+ million of a undisclosed amount in which that they're giving teams to join the league. Which is, I will say it is a sizable number that will be confirmed in time for the article. But they're supposedly doubling said sizable amount for teams that are on the fence and trying to get these new franchises in. Like we know that they reached out to the Prague Black Panthers to try and get them into the AFLE. And so I really do think that one of two things is going to happen with this investment money that we've got coming in through the AFLE. Either on one side, this actually is a league that's trying to make something happen. But unfortunately, I think because of the branding, longstanding nature of the ELF and the amount of players that will still continue to play for the ELF moving forward, you're going to have a really uncomfortable split that's going to tank both leagues, which is not good. Or you're going to run into, which I still think that this is the thing, and I'm waiting for someone to hop into my DMs and tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I think that this is a way for former ELF owners who lost money while they were, running their teams in the ELF to get money back. And
it's fair.
I with these payouts that they're talking about, I could so see a world where the owners of these teams that are jumping ship to the AFLE are like, cool, they're willing to give me, X amount, hundreds of thousands of dollars. That at least puts a pretty sizable dent into the money that I lost. I'll take that. If we make any money off of this league this upcoming year, cool. And then after that, I'm going to dip.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it makes sense. Like, it's still weird. It's like we're still new into this league, even though now we're going into our third year covering it. But, we know the operating costs of a lot of these teams and how much they're actually making. And then that's not even true because the league wasn't paying revenue share. They weren't paying sponsorship share. Like, they weren't making any money from the league. So it's like these teams were having a heavy negative operating cost. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's enticing to just jump over and be like, hey, I want cash now. JG?
Yeah. It's my money and I need it now.
It's my money and I need it now.
Yeah.
It's almost like that. And it's like, it's a quick payout, which is fair. Like, these teams, it's hard to be sustainable right now. And from what I've heard, the ELF is trying to do that. It's like that they're lobbying for teams themselves to own part of the league to guarantee a higher revenue share, not even just a higher revenue share, to guarantee it. And so it's a gamble you need to take. It's like, do you want to jump into the unknown and get a guaranteed payout, or stick with the ELF, maybe get a lower payout, but have a higher, a clearer picture for what the future could hold?
Yeah.
With knowing that you kind of control part of the league now.
Yeah. And, that again takes me back to the weird financial side of the AFLE again, of with the ELF, the way that it's currently structured and the fact that they're trying to put more revenue share percentage towards the teams and the staff of the teams versus the league itself, i.e. Zelco. There is you can see how this league would be able to sustain itself financially for years to come based on it, versus the way that the AFLE has theirs set up. I mean, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I remember us being told that essentially this, $10+ million that's being invested, they've got to be able to triple that money in 3 years in order to buy that league out. So we'll take it just straight 10 mil. This league is not going to generate $30 million of revenue in 3 years. And that's no knock on the league. That's no knock on the product. It's just not feasible, especially when you have a direct competitor in the ELF. So to me, again, it just seems like such a quick grab of cash, because you can't possibly think that you're going to sustain that financially.
Yeah. But we can welcome Tanner.
Yes, Tanner. Tanner had to show up late, but Tanner, welcome to episode 100.
Woo! We did it. We're still alive. They haven't shut us down yet.
Not yet. We've been close, but this one might do it.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, we haven't been sued yet. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, you haven't missed much. We just gave props to everyone for sticking around for 100 episodes, and now we're just talking about the new news we know about the two leagues.
Yeah, really just kind of dove into the financials of the things that Danny sent us in his voice memos, and mentioned some of the stuff that I've heard from different players, really, that the players kind of have no idea of what's going on, honestly. And
so at least we're on the same page. We're all on the page of not knowing what the hell's going on.
Yeah, no. I combed through every response that I got from all the players, and the amount of I have no idea what the hell is going on is the number one answer was astronomical. And then the handful of guys that think that they know something, I was like, brother, you're not breaking news with me right now.
And it's funny. It's like, we appreciate everyone's responses, obviously, but it's funny just hearing everyone's different take on it. It's like we kind of brushed on it earlier, but catching you up, Tanner. It's like from what the players said to what we've heard from other people, it's almost opposites. And it's like, all right, so no one,
no one.
No,
I mean, when you hear two entirely different stories, that they can't both be true, So
and it's
most
like,
likely, it's not that one of them is true. The more likely answer is that both of them aren't true. It's that
it's somewhere in the middle.
Based on rumors,
But no, it's like, but one thing we did hear about the ELF now is basically EFA is in control. It's like from rumors I've heard, it's like the FA formed for this reason and they kind of almost won. If you want to say I forget what term Jordan called it, or was it a hostile takeover?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it kind of feels like, right? Like it's a hostile takeover. Like, I mean, obviously not to the same extreme, but you have an organization that existed, a subsidiary for, essentially they got unionized. Is really where you can put it as, they formed a union and they fucking kicked the bourgeoisie out of there and the proletariat rise again,
They slashed management. They put their own approval process in place.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and that was needed. An approval process.
Oh, absolutely.
Is so needed. And because now you have to go through a deep background check basically to make sure your team is functional and not just a money grab or gonna be Helvetic.
Yeah,
right. Which maybe I'm off base of this, but didn't Helvetic say that they're in the ELF? Didn't they just?
They haven't been confirmed by the league itself, but they are wanting to play in the ELF still.
They are going through the approval process.
Yeah. Everything I heard, every single team had to re-go through the approval process.
Now, do we know anything of the big four that went to go form the AFLE? Did they fail the approval process, or did they not even just bother to go through it?
They probably didn't even apply for it. But if they do, I'm assuming if they want to come back, they'd have to apply for it. And probably the big three would pass, but with some slap on the wrist, maybe. I don't know.
What, you think Berlin wouldn't make the cut if they try to jump ship?
Not with the current makeup of the organization.
Okay.
It would be hard. It's probably what the answer is.
There would need to be some fixes and some changes.
But one thing...
Hey, Rip Berlin,
Oof. But one thing I heard last week, but then today, it seems it's like it's different, is with the Alpine Rams. And maybe they're going both ways, because I heard that they were going through the approval process, but then today they posted a thing saying big news coming soon, and it said we are planning to, and it looked like it said play in the AFLE.
But they did put some pixels over it.
Yeah, there was blurred, there was pixels. So I don't know where the Rams are playing.
Well, I mean, they're going to play in Switzerland, but... Oh, dude, low-hanging fruit. That was easy. Come on, brother.
I mean, if the Peens go to the AFLE, I mean, right the Peens off, The Peens will be staying flaccid. They're not going to be rising.
Oh, that's funny.
So I don't think that there's a whole lot else that we have with our AFLE info bombs. We do have an article coming out on Friday that we've been working on between some investigative journalism from Daniel and I. But the thing that has made this process so interesting again has been the players being kind of out of the loop. But what I will say, it's just been nice to hear from the players in general. Yeah. And yes, Danny.
One thing we know for sure, though, is that there will be a league. Or two.
Hell,
there will be at least one.
And again, this is completely taken out of my ass, but I'm sure with the AFLE, worst case scenario, I assume for them is I bet they'll have like a Rhine Vienna match or something. Like they might do some sort of, marketing if they can't get things set into stone and they really want to take themselves seriously. They might do we're not playing in 2026, but here's the Vienna's Vikings roster. Here's the Rhine Fire roster. And then maybe here's the Wrocław and Berlin rosters. Maybe they play like 2 games against each other to try to like build up hype, right?
That would be I could see where it comes from, but that would be horrid.
Oh, absolutely. But with the decision makings we've seen from that side, I mean, does that sound too far fetched? Right? Like,
No, it doesn't.
no, yeah.
But I said it before. I'm going to keep saying it. I want someone from the AFLE to reach out, either come on the show, or just get into our DMs and tell us the truth.
Quit ducking us.
If our rumors and what we're hearing is completely false, let us know. Spread the news. You want to be more open in communicating with the fans and the people. Do it.
Yeah. And stop saying that we don't know what we're talking about. Okay, then what are we talking about then?
And
brother?
listen, we're shills. Like, you throw money in front of us, I mean, we are just, it's over, you know. We're singing your praises.
It's like an ELF team. We are so far in the red.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you just start throwing us, you throw us money, you throw us sponsorships our way. Dude, we'll say whatever we want about the AFLE, you know.
I was about to say, I'll start wearing an AFLE polo on this show.
Yeah.
You know?
I have my.
We're going to talk shit. We're going to start calling we'll call the ELF the Timu League, you know.
Yeah. Oh man.
Here. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, with that, with all the news and notes and stuff that we have on it, make sure that you check it out, the article out on Friday, because again, those numbers are going to be confirmed, broken down a little bit more. It's going to be in a little bit more detail, and also, I like having a written communication that's going to call out some rich people. So that might just be my inner anarchist coming out. But gentlemen, for the 100th episode of the Fourth Down Fiasco, I would like to take a little trip down memory lane. We're doing a lot of projecting into the future of what the future holds, but sometimes it's nice to look in the rear view and look at the past a little bit. So wanted to just kind of have an open mic with you gentlemen about favorite interviews that we've had on the show. Daniel, I know that you and I were struggling to have a true number one. Tanner, do you have a favorite interview that we've conducted on the show?
We could read them off real quick to let everyone know who we've interviewed with if you haven't listened to them yet.
Oh, you have the entire list?
I have our YouTube pulled up.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
And I filtered it by views because those are our highest viewed things. It kind of makes sense.
Fair.
But so we have Hennessy twice. We have Jaime Martin Lastau, the Madrid owner. We got Magic Zach Edwards, who is coming back for 26. We got Jordan Bois when he still played in Vienna. We got Ben Holmes in the beginning of this year. We got Mr. DJ Irons. We have Tony Anderson. We got Mr. Randy Schrader.
About said.
Yeah. Carlton Aiken. Can't forget about our boy.
Oh, multi-time interview.
Yeah.
Can't forget about Jadrian Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we got Kiki and Alex, the ones that started it all.
Yep.
And Mr. MVP and now retired, Reed Sinet.
Yeah.
I think that is all of them.
That sounds right.
That sounds right. I don't think we got anybody else in that time frame.
Yeah, that looks like it. But out of that list,
I feel like I have to break mine into categories.
that's what we were trying to say.
Oh no, you forgot a big one, Danny. Your only 1v1 interview.
I said Mr. DJ Irons.
Did you say DJ?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay.
After Mr. Ben Holmes.
I didn't hear DJ. Okay. Sorry. I wanted to make sure that we got our boy DJ out there on the pod. Okay.
Current free agent, DJ Irons.
Current free agent. But
I think the funniest person that we interviewed, I'd have to give it to Jordan Bois.
Oh, 100%.
Dude, that guy is comedy on wheels, grade A shit talker.
He's psycho in the best way possible.
Yes. Like, just hearing him talk, I'm like, you are a true competitor, but you also like the kind of like love that he has for the game. You can't fake that, like he truly just enjoys football and just a real guy's guy,
Yeah,
So I'll give him the nod for the funniest interview.
that's fair. That's fair. Tanner, do you different from funniest interview?
I would say funny. I mean, the hard part with the interviews for me is I think I was only on 3 of them, maybe 4, just because I work all the fucking time. Unfortunately. So I wasn't able to make it to a bunch. I think Bois was definitely the funniest of the ones that I've at least listened to. I remember Bois was one that I actually sent to a lot of my friends just because I was like, you have to look at it the perspective of why the ELF is so interesting when you're looking at the non-Americans who are playing there, because they have a very different relationship with football than we do, right? I mean, like, football is shoved from our throats from like essentially the moment we're born, you know. Like there are very few family photos that is taken of me and my family without the Steelers playing in the background, right? Like that's just kind of the way it goes. So you weren't able to get away from it. So that was my favorite part about the Bois interview, was when he was telling us how he got into football, and it was almost very picturesque. Like it was very like romantic in a way of like how he got into it, where he just randomly stumbled across it, was like, I could play this at a high level. It was very surrealist, which is strange for football, because if you ask any American how they got into football, it's like, well, in elementary school, they didn't have a left tackle, and I was a little bit taller, so I played left tackle, right? You know, like that's how most people interact with football in the States. So
yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So yeah, I'd give him the funniest, and yeah, his backstory with football was super interesting. What about most insightful? Like the one that we learned the most?
I would say Jaime. Again, I got to go off the ones that we went through. Interviewing Jaime was very insightful. Like just knowing how some of the behind the scenes stuff are ran as an organization. Also, Jaime's perspective on football, where he didn't really know a ton of football. Like he had just become a recent fan, and he was just investing in it because he thought it was.
His brother was like, "Hey, you want to invest in a football team?"
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
like, "Football."
Yeah. No, so I definitely got to go with Jaime. Just, I mean, we didn't really get anyone that gave us kind of that behind the scenes of what's going on in the organization, some of the kind of struggles they're having, just getting things started, how to market football, how to get football to become this growing sport. My honorable mention there would obviously be our first ever interview with Kiki and Alex. I mean, that's just where we learned the most about the sport before we got into it, you know?
Yeah. Learning about all the rules. Yeah.
Yep.
From Alex.
I like the Jaime take. Cause yeah, especially since he was in the midst of having, building it from the ground up when we interviewed him.
Yep.
Because they were still in the midst of early in their first season when we talked to him. I might also put the Randy Schrader interview in that same category. His was pretty insightful too, because he was kind of going through that same process of,
He broke down the entire journey of pitching, not just a team Nordic Storm to the ELF. Like it was his baby.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was playing there. We were on vacation. He's like, we need a team. Yeah. He's like, we just put our head down.
Yeah, so I think I might give the nod to Randy, but Jaime's was a phenomenal, just because and again, I love the anecdote where he was talking about how he was the one putting up the signage.
Yeah, he's like, after the game, I go put the play clocks in the shipping container.
Yeah, and I'm just like, all right, so this is a guy who's willing to get his hands dirty too on behalf of his team. He's not just some high and mighty, I'm rich, you're not, go pick this up.
Construction company.
Huh?
When you own a construction company, you
got well, true, yeah. We work with a lot of those types.
But
okay,
no, it's funny to see the difference of our ownership interviews versus player interviews. Mm-hmm. And even the differences of the players interview. Like you bring in Hennessy and he's watching film 24/7, knows every single player on every single team. Then you go to Ben Holmes and he's like, I don't know, that tall guy number 12 on defense.
Yeah. I mean, that reminds me of just some of the stuff that me and Ben talked about recently with the AFLE. And I won't say what his response was, but the one comment that he did say that I can talk about was, he's like, man, you know me. He's like, I literally don't pay attention to anything. I just say, hey, tell me where to show up and I will go throw a ball. And that is, and that being a completely different approach from Riley Hennessy, who's like, yeah, I made sure to watch Tony Anderson game film for 6 hours while I was on the train to the game. And it's like, of course you did,
But that's what makes this league fun is we get to see the insight of all these players.
All right, we've done quite a few quarterbacks in specific. Favorite quarterback interview?
Mine's easy because I actually was only on one quarterback interview, and that was Carlton Aiken. So I didn't make it to anybody else's. It was just Aiken, which I think was actually our first ELF player, right? Or was Bois before? I think Aiken was before.
I think Aiken was the first one.
Yeah, I think Aiken was our
June,
first one.
And then July was Bois.
And also, we have to give a special shout out to Aiken because Aiken is still kind of in the FDF sphere. Like, I feel like we still communicate with Aiken pretty consistently and all of that. I feel like Aiken has kind of gone through the whole like FDF like chain, where we've had him interviewed, we've given him an award, we've given him the Fiasco award. We've gone through everything with Aiken.
We gave him the most prestigious award.
Special guest, not even in an interview, just
on an episode.
Yeah.
But,
okay, so yours is Aiken. All right, Daniel. Quarterbacks.
Seems like a cop out, but it's not, I swear. I really like Ben Holmes' interview.
Wow.
It was almost unironically funny just because of the way he prepares.
Yeah. By not.
Yeah. And but it was still like insightful and it was just funny. And then even just to like have that interview and then follow up with us meeting in person. And he's like, some people would probably be a little more reserved or quiet. And we've seen it on the podcast where we're like, hey, if you cuss. If you do this. Like, who cares? He's the exact same person. Like, there was no difference of him in that office versus in person. And that's great.
Yeah. No. I do love anytime people are like, can I cuss on the pod? I'm like, brother, let it fly. I'm like, whatever.
I will say I got a call from my mom last week after our episode, and she's like, I like listening to your podcast, but I hate how much you guys cuss. So I had to explain to her that the F word in Europe is not as vulgar as it is in the US.
Yeah. And that nobody
I was like, they throw it around willy-nilly in Europe, and it's just a word.
Yeah,
word it can have a negative connotation to it.
It's pretty bad because I didn't even realize we cuss a lot.
Apparently to my mom, we do.
Yeah,
I mean, I have reduced the amount over the years because I know that my youth group students listen to my pod. Because there was an episode pretty early on where I said the N-word and they lost their shit. And I saw them on Sunday. They were like, Jordan, we heard you say the N-word. And I'm like, you can't be saying that out loud in church. I'm like, congregation can hear you. They're going to be like, who's this guy and why is he teaching the kids?
Yeah. Not a good one.
All right. For quarterbacks, for me, that's hard because it's like I would do the cop out and say Riley just because I interviewed him twice. And in terms of being an actual journalist, I feel like that's probably the most I've ever felt like a real journalist.
Those were both very good interviews.
Yeah, and it was just a very intentional sit down. It was a much calmer interview, which that's just kind of who Riley is. And then obviously, I love our boy Zach Edwards. He's funny. He was a funny interview. Oh, man.
This is hard. We haven't even picked our top one yet.
Yeah. I'm just quarterbacks alone. I wasn't there for the DJ Irons one. Wish I was.
Everyone saw it.
Yeah, boy, do I wish I was. What other quarterbacks am I missing? So we have Aiken, Edwards. I wasn't there for the. I can't say that. I'm missing one though.
Aiken, Clark, Irons, Holmes, Edwards, Tennessee.
Ooh, actually, I might go with the Reed Sinnott one simply.
And Reed. Oh, how can we forget about Reed?
yeah, I might have to give the nod to Reed Sinnett just because that was the first time we ever got to interview a former NFL player, and it feels good to get to say that selfishly. So
You called it 2 years ago.
hey, I showed it.
But now here's the hardest one of all.
Top overall
interview. It can be one you said. It doesn't have to be anything different. But Tanner, if you have one, go for it.
Honestly, I even though I've only been on like 3 of them, I have listened to all of our interviews, mostly so I can keep you guys in line, make sure you're doing your job.
Thanks.
Yeah. Honestly, I think my favorite interview is one that I wasn't on, and I do think it's the Reed Sinnett interview. I think the information we got out of Reed, the way Reed was able to talk to us and let us know what was happening, it was just very insightful. Like I felt like it was a lot of good back and forth with Reed. It was very casual. It felt more comfortable. And that's not to say that every single interview we've done where we've had to be like stick up our butts, like very proper and trying to all those things, because we've had some very unprofessional interviews for sure.
It's
Yeah,
called Fiasco for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like that's the case, but I just felt like Reed kind of got the assignment, like he was able to give us everything he needed. He was able to banter. It almost felt more like we were just recording, like you guys were just recording an episode of the pod rather than doing an interview.
Yeah. Sure. And that's what we hope for. I mean,
yeah. And the one thing that I really loved about that interview was, the way in which the Bravos kind of marketed Sinnett, like every picture you'd see, perfect hair. He's looking off.
That was his perfect hair anyways. Like he'd rip off his helmet and just be beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have to try.
And it was always like pictures of him like being like a leader. And I was so worried that he was going to be just this like super serious, like kind of like an asshole, And then as soon as we get on, he's like goofy and kind of like, like how we're like NFL nerds. Like he's like a huge NFL nerd. Like he's got elite ball knowledge, which I feel like he kind of has.
It makes sense if you played in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it just was not who I was expecting. I was afraid going into the interview that it was going to have to be this hyper serious, oh shit, we're talking to a former NFL quarterback. Like this guy has met Tom Brady before, kind of
on the same team with.
Yeah, well, he was teammates with. And yeah, he just, was very warm and fuzzy and very kind and funny. And so I might give Reed my favorite interview award. I might have to do it.
Also like that he kind of shit on the Bengals organization a little bit.
I mean, everyone does.
Yeah,
that's why we knock them out. It's fine. But no, yeah. I mean, everyone knows the Bengals organization is shit, so it's fine.
More Cincinnati sports.
I will differ from you guys.
Okay.
I did love the Sinnett interview. It's great. And his vlogs. Shout out his vlogs. If you didn't watch his behind the scenes of the ELF season, do it. But I probably have to go. It was one of our first interviews, and it was the first person from a team that actually even really gave us the time of day to begin with. Like, we started this thing on Twitter, which was mistake number 1, but it is what it is. And we were posting just random crap about this league that we knew nothing about. For whatever reason, Kiki Klepsch was like, number one fan, do this, do that, do this. And just here, and it goes back to like Jordan Blois and what Tanner said. Her story of finding the NFL and just how she basically fell in love with it. And obviously she can't play, but being as close as possible and still feeling the same pain as players for losing a championship game or winning a championship game. Mm-hmm. And just hearing not an ownership side, not a player side, but a personnel side of the league itself. So I liked it. And the background was cool. That was the coolest location.
True. Yeah. I have an extra category for us, really just to piss off our friends here. Who has been your favorite insider interview?
We've only interviewed one.
Well, we've brought all of them on to the show at some point or another.
That's true.
Yeah, we've had an episode with every last one of them in the group chat at some point. So
It's true. We've only interviewed one, but all of them have been on, except
Yes.
for Davide.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was on
Davide's
the
made it.
show. That's right.
That's okay. Our original core insider group up until this year.
Well, hey, I was on Davide's show, so I'm gonna count that too. But
And you wiped the floor with Matt.
hey, I'll whoop some British ass, okay?
But I haven't been with Jamal. Besides the what do we call it? The analyst arena. I haven't been with Jamal.
Oh, sucks. I have.
Yeah.
Have I not either?
No, it's only been Jordan.
I understand as the one black guy on the pod,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
But it's
That's
fun
funny.
to have Alex on. You never know what he's going to show up in.
God, dude, Malchow cracks me up with his stupid ass sunglasses.
Yeah.
Oh man,
So yeah, I'm going with Alex. He's just fun.
fair. Tanner,
And he bought me a beer.
I'll go with our favorite Brit. I'll go with Matt Bresington. I feel like he shouted us out I guess Alex is the first one to come on, but he gave us a lot of shout outs on his own show.
No, yeah.
I feel like he's the one that's most versed in NFL ball. Maybe that's like ELF ball. That might be an insult to the other insiders, but I feel like this is Matt's like bread and butter. Like this is what he lives, breathes, and
He was a scout last year for
exactly.
a reason.
So I'll give a shout out to Matt. It's one of the few times I'll compliment him. So at least have him there.
He is the one that coined FDF.
Yep.
And I was mad at him for a couple months because I was like, we spent so much time figuring out fourth down fiasco, and within 2 months you were like FDF. Like, dude, we're not FDF. But here we are. Now we are.
see, I like FDF. I think it's
I was just like, we spent so much time. I was like, we should have thought of FDF from the beginning, but we didn't think of it.
Yeah.
Stupid Brit did.
you know what? Just to be a contrarian, I guess I will go with Jamal Clay.
We're all copping out. It's just everyone is great.
Yeah, and Davide doesn't count because Davide had me on his show, so Davide can't be mad. Okay.
No,
All right, gentlemen.
really-
Let's. We have some mailbag questions to end the show today. Kind of excited for these because we got multiple responses, including from players. Haha. So I'm pulling them up real quick.
But
I'll start with the first set of 4.
it is. I don't think we've ever had a bad experience with someone on the show.
No,
Like, everything's been great.
Which
you
is
had
lucky.
you had an odd experience at some point or another.
It's fine. It happens.
I again, the next time you bring DJ onto the show, just make sure that I'm not sick. Because I feel like me and DJ would have a shit ton of fun, and there would be a lot of ignorant things said.
Before mailbag, let's throw names out to manifest interviews for next year. I'm not like into big manifestation or whatever it is, but if we say names, maybe they'll come on.
We're gonna have Zelko on the pod.
That was the first one. I was like, I want Zelko on the pod. I know you're listening. I want Michael Planeta on the pod. He told me if I want him on, he'll come on. But I want you on.
What's the name of that? He's one of the color commentators sometimes. American guy, Joey Lindstrom.
Oh, Joey Lindstrom, that'd be sick.
That'd be a really good interview to have.
We also need to bring Tebs on, the other UK guy that is kind of getting in around our group a little bit more.
Ooh, Wang, brother, I want Wang.
If Wang comes back, that'd be nice.
So bad.
Tanner,
Any coach, any of them. I want to pick their brains. I want to hear what they got to say because
let's get Shoop. Let's get John Shoop.
Former, current, future, any of them. Let's see. Obviously, the dream is Jack Del Rio because then we can market the shit out of that.
Yeah.
But
he made it on ESPN when he signed with Paris. So
yeah.
I
maybe
would talk
ESPN.
so much shit if I was able to interview Jack Del Rio. Like, can't talk to me.
We do have an in. Magic Zach Edwards is back.
True.
That's
We also time out. miscommunicated with this guy 1,000 times already. John McKinnon or whatever his name is, the Paris owner himself
Ewan, I think.
wants to come on the pod, but we have just neglected it.
Well, we neglected. There was a very long stretch of no communicating that was
We're taking the blame here, Jordan, okay?
All right.
Yeah, it's our fault. It's our fault.
It is our fault.
You're right. I'm in the lower tax bracket. I'll take the blame. It's fine. But
if you're listening, or if you're listening and you know the guy, let him know.
If you have for anyone listening, if you got any connection with anybody at the AFLE, again, we got to get them to contact us. We got to get some sort of information from them.
And even if you're listening and you wanted to be on and we didn't say your name, let us know.
Yep.
All right.
What?
Jordan, I'm reining this back in. Mailbag. I'm going to do Petra's question first.
Oh, God.
Because I figure quick story time, and also this is only one person has to answer. Does Danny remember the Hungarian curse word we taught him?
I do.
What is
and
it?
I say it to myself sometimes randomly too. It is because it's boss mag, means fuck you. Boss mag.
Okay. I was like, why are you cursing yourself?
Yeah, we were at the award show and we were like Matt, Tebbs, Davide, Ricardo, Petra, Nico, and I were all just sitting there talking after the show. And I was like, I want to know a Hungarian word. Because they were speaking Hungarian to each other, and I was like, I have no clue what you're saying. She was like, oh, boss mag. I was like, boss bag. She's like, do you want to know what it is? I was like, yeah. She's like, fuck you. I'm like, so I just pointed at Brezington and said boss mag, and he said, what the heck?
Yeah.
I think it was Brezington I pointed it at. Yeah, I don't know.
You should have directed it towards
I think it was. We'll say it is.
Marcus Kentz, our Surge super fan, if you will, asked us, since the ELF has been your money maker, how did you guys hear about the league? And Tanner and I will defer to you again, Danny, because this is a youth man.
Yeah, we've explained it before, but it's I don't know. I find the story funny, but maybe it's not funny. But so yeah, we started this podcast. We did the NFL, whatever. Like I said earlier in the episode, week 14. We're like, great idea. Start at the end of the season. January came around and we're like, okay, now what do we talk about? We're like, we have the UFL. That could be exciting or not.
Yeah, or not.
And then I remember my friend brought up about how there was an American football team called the Vikings or something that won a championship in 2022. And I was like, cool. For whatever reason, that popped into my head because I was like, football, sports, yeah, whatever. So I was at work. So if you're listening from work, sorry. And I just started Googling, and somehow I stumbled upon this league, and I went into a huge rabbit hole. And then I went and interrupted Jordan across the hall for probably the next 2-3 hours of the day, trying to pitch him about how we should cover this random football league in Europe. I was like, American regular NFL first 4 quarters, college overtime. I was like, it's the best of both worlds. I was like, you got teams from Vienna, Madrid, or Barcelona, Italy, Germany. It's like, you got it all. And he's like, no.
Yeah, dude, I was like, dude, you're so full of it. You think, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, and then Tanner was on the same boat. He's like, this is stupid. and
now look at us.
Yeah. And it's funny, like, even when we started covering it, I was still giddy over it. Jordan was pretty giddy when we started watching it. We were finding more out about it. And Tanner was still just like, cool, I picked Madrid.
I picked the best team. They're the only ones still left, you know.
Well, I was gonna say, well, it was once Madrid upset the Rhine Fire, then all of a sudden Tanner was like, "Oh, this is kind of fun.
I'm the best."
Yeah, it wasn't selling me at first because I watched the game and I don't have a ton of football experience. I don't want to like sit here and be like former football. I played 2 years of high school ball and we were a 500 school like team or 500 student school. I was not anything special, but I just was seeing some of the blocking in some of the early games. And I was like, this is the most horrific shit I've ever seen in my life. I just saw some of the blocking from some of the offensive line and like some of the packages they were playing. I'm like, dude, this is unwatchable for like the first 2 weeks. Now, guarantee, I'm pretty sure the game I watched, I think it was like a Hamburg versus like Barcelona game or something.
Probably.
So it was like two really bad teams, and I was like, I don't know how we're gonna watch all of this.
It was the Barcelona Helvetic game.
That's it. That's totally it. That's right. Yeah. And I just saw some of the blocking packages out there. I mean, I saw offensive linemen falling. These guys they couldn't like block a screen properly. Like they were going out to do a screen and everybody just missed I was like, I was like, no shot. And then, I was watching Madrid play and I was like, okay, it's a little bit better. And then the Madrid Ryan game, I was like, wait, no, these guys actually like they can hoop. They can ball.
Yeah,
like they're doing well. And then it sold me. And I think the league has, as we've gotten more into it, and each year it's getting better because obviously it's a new product. Yeah. The first season was 2021, right? Or 2022? 21. That's right. So they're only 4 years deep, 5 years deep. So
technically we're going into the 6th year. Yeah. This year was the 5th year. Yeah.
So we're seeing the product get better and better. And I think as we're seeing some of those really bad teams cycle themselves out, like last year, we only had 3 really. I mean,
last year was great. Like there were a lot of upsets. Like the scheduling last year was phenomenal for the most part. And I
think as it grows and as the ELF goes, I mean, it's just going to keep getting better and better. We're just going to keep getting better product. We're going to keep getting better players. Schemes are going to get better. It's exciting. And yeah, I'm okay being wrong every once in a while, especially when we get to platform stuff that's more unique. I like it's a lot more fun being the ELF guys than it is to be like, we're randomly talking about the NFL. And really, in reality, we couldn't give too much of a shit about any other team besides our own teams. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no.
Whereas the ELF, I said it last year when we were actually covering it. I was like, I actually kind of like watching every single team in the ELF. Like, I'm invested in them. I know and I know the players in the NFL because I'm a fucking nerd. But like, I know the players in the ELF because I'm more invested in actually knowing these people and getting to know them. Yeah. Like, I don't give a shit about the wide receiver 3 on the Broncos, right? Like, I just don't. Yeah. But I really give a shit about the wide receiver 3 on Hamburg because that's a guy we could actually have a relationship with. That's a guy who could come on and we could talk to, and that's awesome.
And like the bounce off that, it's like we can watch every team. Like, yeah, we have a team we root for, but to say what you said earlier, we're not born into it. We weren't like, I was born into Cincinnati. You were born into Pittsburgh. I don't know if you were born into Dallas. I forget.
Oh, I was absolutely born into Dallas.
You were born in. Oh yeah. You were born into Dallas. It's like, but 2 years ago we were like, I picked Vienna because I lived there. I picked Madrid because my wife speaks Spanish. It's like,
and then I made the mistake of picking Barcelona.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, we have like, it sucked watching Vienna lose back-to-back championships, but it was still fun to watch the other teams win and to watch all the other teams play.
Yeah,
because it's just fun, and we have relationships with these players.
Yeah, agreed. This question, I think this will definitely be something that we'll tap into Tanner for. This comes from Ben Holmes himself. We need ELF NFL quarterback comparisons. I'm going to go ahead and say that Jamison Wang is Russell Wilson, but young Russell Wilson, not the crap that's going on right now.
Not Broncos Wilson?
Yeah, no. We're Seattle Seahawks, Russ.
I gotta think. It's been a few months since the ELF happened. I'm trying to remember like how people played in the pocket because I don't want to do just the classic like, oh, Sinnett was really accurate, so we're gonna compare him to Drew Brees because they don't play similar at all.
Right.
Come back to me in a second. I need to think about some of the.
Well, and Ben, since you're probably listening. We normally call you the White Lamar on this pod. If I were going to say your actual playing style, though, since I've seen you in the ELF, obviously you ran a ton in college, which you promptly let me know that I had missed that when it happened. I feel like I'd give him, and I mean this as a compliment because it's coming from a Cowboys fan, I would give him the Tony Romo comparison personally.
Interesting. I kind of have all like almost current guys on my list. but I didn't even think about Tony Romo. But I was thinking Holmes a little more like Jared Goff.
I could see that.
Timely passer, like when he gets time, he's gonna pick you apart, no matter what happens.
Which, it's not fair to say because NFL pressure is way different than the pressure that the guys in the ELF generate. But I would say that Ben makes better decisions under pressure than Jared Goff does, though.
Agreed. And I mean, but like when protected, they both, I mean, a lot of quarterbacks will pick you apart, but they will 100% pick you apart.
Yeah.
Even under play action, I feel like they both thrive pretty well.
Yeah.
And then you add in Ben's under pressure decision making, and I don't know, Goff doesn't run all that much, but he can a little bit. And Ben just happens to need to run more, but similar speed, maybe. Probably get yelled at for that one.
You know what? I think a good one for Hennessy is not nearly he almost like the way he scrambles to me feels very, very similar to the way like Baker scrambles, like the way he kind of evades the pocket, the way he moves, but he doesn't have the same throwing mechanics as Baker. I actually think more so we see a lot of like a Mac Jones type. And again, I know Mac Jones isn't like this insane quarterback, so don't take this as an insult, obviously. But like, I feel like a lot of the throwing mechanics that Hennessy has is very similar to Mac Jones, like where, just to kind of his step back, kind of he does more of that kind of like push off throw where he steps on his back foot and he throws more so on like kind of the step back, like the 2-step back throw, like back foot throw. That's very similar to how Mac Jones throws the football. And we've seen that under Shanahan's offense a little bit this year, where we've seen that be really effective when you have the schemes put up for him. So I see a lot of that. I think the Ben Holmes comparison with Goff is also pretty good. I think you see a lot of just the way he doesn't have, again, he has good elusivity for the ELF, right? Just the way he's able to get out of the pocket, he's able to scramble. But I think a lot of his throwing, you see a lot of the kind of like the Detroit kind of play calling, where you see it's a lot of the middle of the field is being opened. He's taking a lot of those shots. And the velocity in which he's throwing is very similar to the way that Jared Goff can place those balls as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good shout.
I have a fun one. And y'all are I think that y'all will agree with this one. Ooh, this a little spicy. DJ Irons.
Oh God.
Jameis Winston.
Oh.
I could see it, honestly. I think DJ Irons, as crazy it is to say, I think DJ Irons is a better scrambler than Jameis. Like, at least like that's more of his play style. Because Jameis can move, like he can move around. But I think in terms of the fuck it and huck it play style, DJ Irons has got that down on pat. Like, that's a man who just wants to go out there and just have fun, right? Like he's going out there, he's taking whoever he wants, Pre-line adjustment. Doesn't matter if he sees one-on-one coverage, he's pushing it down the field. Like, even if that corner is better than his receiver, absolute faith that his receiver is going to make the play, which you got as a receiver, you got to love in your quarterback to a degree, right? Because you're never not going to get the opportunity to make a play. And DJ Irons is going to make sure you get that play. But scrambling wise, I think actually the way that DJ Irons scrambles is kind of similar to the way that we've seen Jackson Dart kind of play this year. And the way he's able to get out of the pocket and the way he's been moving, I think there's a lot of similarities there. DJ Irons is a little bit better about not taking contact, though, because Jackson Dart might be the worst football player I've ever seen at taking contact. That guy's trying to kill himself.
That's fair.
But I mean, I do like that you compared him to another black quarterback, so that was good.
I like that. I like the Dart and the Winston comparison. If you combine the two. But,
and that's what's hard about QB comparison sometimes, because I guarantee these guys, the American guys, probably had looked up to somebody and they're like, I want to model my game around them, but they're their own individual players. Yeah. So I've never really liked the idea of being like 1-to-1, this guy is like this. Like a great example of that is everybody tries to paint the like Joe Burrow, they try to put him into like a single player. And it actually undersells a lot of what Burrow does, because if you take each aspect of Joe Burrow, it makes him sound like the greatest quarterback ever when you compare his tools. Because I would say that he has the accuracy of a Drew Brees, he has the decision making and kind of the velocity on the throws that a Tom Brady does, and he also has the pocket manipulation of a Dan Marino. And you're sitting there and you're like, holy shit, you're comparing this guy to Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Dan Marino. And it's like, okay, but it's not an exact one-on-one. He just has those similar tools, right? And when you look at, like we said with DJ Irons, it's like, holy shit, you guys just compared him to two NFL quarterbacks. You compared him to Jameis Winston and Jackson Dart, who have both been successful in the NFL. It undersells a lot of what DJ Irons does, because he is a very unique player. Also, same with Riley Hennessy, same with Ben Holmes, same with all these guys. But it is cool seeing the little bits of where their game kind of folds into their own, and where you can kind of see a little bit of, oh wait, no, they do kind of have a similar throwing motion.
I'm curious on, or are you going to say a different one or go off still, or go on?
Well, I was going to say, let's each do one more and then we'll go to the next mailbag.
I was thinking Chad Jeffries, little Daniel Jones. They're both a little mobile, more than you'd think. And they both got similar. They're almost like a similar build, too.
I feel like Chad Jeffries has, again, I know that it's different whenever we're talking about NFL compared to the ELF, but I would say for his league, I think he's more accurate. This is the first year that we've really seen Daniel Jones actually makes passes. As someone who sees or used to see Daniel Jones twice a year every year, man can't throw a ball to save his shit. Sorry, that dog's Sarah's coming home.
You're good. Tanner, thoughts?
I could see it. Daniel Jones is an interesting one to me, because I think Daniel Jones is still extraordinarily undersold in how well of a scrambler he is and how fast of a quarterback he is. And I think Chad Jeffries does have a little bit of that sauce in him too. Yeah. But there's a reason why people were calling Danny Dimes Vanilla Vic for a little while, which is still the craziest nickname ever. But he really can move. Like, that's like one of the better scramblers in the NFL if you actually let him go through with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't necessarily hate it. I think it's a decent again, it's so hard when these guys have such unique motions. But I think if you're just to one-on-one, I can see a lot of just the way Jeffries moves, and I like, especially like when he's running out of the pocket, you can see a lot of like when he's kind of running those bootlegs and he's running out to the right or running out to the left, and the way he's throwing on the runs is very similar to the way Daniel Jones throws on the run too.
Sure. Okay. Well, we haven't talked about, there's two quarterbacks that I'm surprised we haven't brought up yet. I'll only bring up, or we can only talk about one of them if y'all want to pivot to a different quarterback after this. I was thinking,
I'll tap out. We'll keep it moving. Just two more quarterbacks.
Okay. I was going to say Zach Edwards and Jadrian Clark, because we haven't done either of those two. For Jadrian, I'm going straight up Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Prime a guy who Aaron Rodgers, especially back whenever he was younger, wasn't really known for scrambling, but had elite pocket presence, just had a sheer will to win, had that. And he knows that we mean this in a nice way, out of that asshole mentality on the field that you just don't always quite get, where I have seen Jadrian Clark yell at his own head coach. And so, which, I respect at times. So, yeah, I might. Plus, I've seen him drop, 65-yard passes where I'm like, that looked really effortless. Why did that look so brother, you went to Weber State. Why did that look so effortless? So.
I like it. I think a big part about Jadrian Clark's game is just his quick release in a lot of his and it's the same similar as Rodgers. Rodgers has that just elite quick release where, you've seen it even this year where Rodgers has aged and regressed. He's still getting the ball out so quick, and just the way that he throws just how quickly the ball comes off his hands and hit receivers. I can see that a lot for Jadrian.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And then the last one, Zachary Edwards. Danny, who's your comparison for Magic Zach?
I kind of forgot about Magic Zach.
I can never forget about Magic Zach.
I know. He's 101. He's just Magic Zach.
I'd say I'd give him a little bit of the Cam Newton nod just because he's a massive human being.
He's big. He plays well like that. This is going to sound weird because it's comparing him to the boat, and Blake Bortles is kind of a meme. But I actually like the way, like when Blake Bortles is on and the way he throws and the way he used his body, especially in that like 2017 Jacksonville run, I see a lot of that in Zach Edwards, where, he can throw with anticipation really well, and he can fit balls into really tight windows, more so than a lot of these other ELF quarterbacks. And that was the thing, is when Blake Bortles was on, dude, he was lethal. Like, he would be able to find just like those pinpoint accuracies, but he was also kind of a bigger dude, which I think we see a lot of Zach Edwards, where Cam Newton never had that like extreme pinpoint accuracy. Cam Newton was just a straight athletic freak, where he's going to spread the football down the field and he's going to break a defense, right? Because the thing is he's going to take those plays where, he can make the 50, 60-yard throw, and also he can bully you at the line of scrimmage with just how big of a man he is. And I think Zach Edwards doesn't necessarily have that same arm, but I think he's more accurate, and he's more accurate in his throwing. He has a little bit more of that pinpoint accuracy that helps. It's just he doesn't have he's a big guy. He can scramble well. He can use his body, but sure, Cam Newton's just one of those guys where he didn't rely on his accuracy, where I think Magic Zach, he benefits a lot from that, whereas Cam Newton relied way more on just his freak athleticism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like what you were talking about, of like, it's more just there are aspects of it, but it's
absolutely, like
Danny said, he is one of one. Couple other mailbag questions. This one's a really quick and easy answer that we don't have to get into, but Grave Walker 61 VP said, if you're Cologne, would you pursue Jordan Newman as a head coach? Well, I mean, yes, but he's not going to Cologne. He is going to Vienna. So
it doesn't hurt to reach out.
But, if I was Cologne, yes, if literally
doesn't hurt a phone call.
You should really consider.
And we've mentioned this a lot in just the last few episodes. Cologne is putting themselves in a good position to succeed in this league because they're not going to the AFLE. They can steal a lot of the Ryan Fire's players if they don't want to go play in that league. They're in a good position in Germany. So even if you're not going to get Newman, you could probably get a pretty good coach still. You could get somebody.
You have proper management in your Cologne, you're in a great spot.
Yep.
This one's from Cade Macon. Can the UK attract its top talent back to the UK for the new franchises? I still don't think that these teams exist personally.
The new London team will exist. The one backed by Gandler, that will be
the ELF one. Yeah,
the ELF one will exist, and I think that's what they're kind of talking about: is can the guard / tower / whoever bring back these top UK players like Tunga, Parkinson, who's Chad Walren from the Nordic Storm, and that doesn't include anyone else from any other team.
Yeah,
it's like there's a lot of good UK guys out there, especially on the O-line. It's like I've heard from some people that say they're not too worried, or some people are under contract until after 27. So it's like they don't really got a choice.
I would say if they do, I mean, the UK team's going to be a powerhouse. Like they're going to be scary if they get a lot of those guys that they have out there, because people forget how big the UK is. I mean, they got a huge population. They're actually into football. They have things going on there. So, I mean, they could, if they could bring those guys back, they are going to be very scary. I think in terms of will they get the guys back? I don't think in 27. I think with their first year playing, it's going to be a little bit of a learning. It's going to be a bit of a learning gap. They're going to have some growing pains. I would imagine that a lot of the players who have already been playing in the league are going to stay where they're at because they're comfortable. And, they might have the disadvantage of just they're coming in a little bit too late, and they got a lot of these guys who have already found their homes and have already liked where they've been playing. And they already have these relationships with other guys outside the ELF, and they don't maybe trust a brand new system and a brand new team. They don't have the same benefit that Madrid did, where, Madrid didn't really have like a bunch of Spanish players all over the league that were already settled. So if they do, I think we're looking at a 2028, 2029 kind of everybody coming back after they see that London's legit and they're not going anywhere.
Yeah. And just to name a couple other players, like you got the wide receiver from Stuttgart, Daniel Pedro, to fill out a homegrown spot. Mm-hmm. You got Arthur Kingdom, who just won Rookie of the Year on defense. You got the Burgess brothers from the Lions for the O-line. That's already just 2. There's already a bunch more that I'm looking on this list. You get Miles Butt for DB from Farivar. You get Toby Naylor from Frankfurt. Keanu Ebang.
I forgot Toby was British.
Then you got all the Nordic Storm guys, Adiza, Walren, Parkinson, Tunga, like done correctly.
Yeah. Because I know that we're really kind of over on our normal time here, but it's episode 100, so it's okay. I hear what you're saying, Tanner. I think that because they're waiting until 2027, that actually benefits them. Because I agree that if they were trying to play in 2026, they would probably suck. I think since they're having a gap year, that'll be beneficial for them. But we have 2 questions left here in the mailbag, and one of them is not football related, so we'll save that one for last. Our boy Jamal Clay, Athletes Forum on Instagram, wants to know our Mount Rushmore of the ELF, top 4 faces, 1 coach, player, CEO, scout, whoever. So who our Mount Rushmore of the ELF is, and I am going to go Jordan Newman, Jadrian Clark, Matt Brezington.
That was my scout.
I mean, come on, man. He's on everything. And that's hard for that last spot. I'll probably put Nick as well, because him and Matt just do so much for the league.
What's the last one? Like this, what's the person, like what it coach?
Oh, he was just giving examples. It doesn't necessarily have to be just the 4 faces.
Oh, 4 faces of the ELF.
Yeah, so I would go Newman, Clark, Brezington, and Nick Alfieri, since they're both kind of always in front of things.
Yeah, I like Tom Sula. I know he wasn't there last year, but what he did with Ryan was pretty intense.
Okay.
Tunga or Clark obviously has to be on there.
Sure.
Kaleke is a pretty good scout, I feel, or at least recruiter, because he's getting a lot of those Nordic guys as imports. Like his Finland imports, kind of fire. Even Swiss imports.
So that's 3.
Or Swedish, not Swiss. I'm not making your mistake. And then what Alfieri does for the league and what he did for the Surge when they were around, it's a good one. He's been there from the beginning.
Sure.
Obviously, there's a lot of people, but
yeah, I don't think I have anybody else to shout out besides the guys you've put. I definitely agree. Alfieri is got to be on there. I think Tom Sula with the Rhine Fire. Again, we look at the Rhine Fire these first couple of years as kind of like the big dogs, the ELF, and I think all the work he did there, it's just too hard to not have him. I'm going to go Tunga over Clark just because of he is – you can make an argument for other QBs being just as accomplished or just as talented as Clark. I don't think you can make an argument for any other running back other than Tunga. I think Tunga is just so heads and shoulders above the rest of the competition.
I wish we would have seen Madre London play like throughout his ELF career, because from stories we've heard in his 1.5 season, he was
dominant. Yeah.
One more for you, Tanner.
Well, again, complimenting Brezington because I'm not going to do it any other day. So we'll throw him in there.
Fair enough. And I mean, Brezington also doubles as a scout, which, his Lions
did really well.
Really made us all look stupid last year. So got to give it to him for that. All right, last question in the mailbag, most serious of the bunch. What's the best cheesecake y'all have ever had?
Tebs.
Yeah, shout out Tebs for that one.
There's a story. So the Friday we got into Stuttgart. I was supposed to meet up with Bresington for like a dinner or something, or a lunch, and I was like, hey, sorry, I'm still exploring with my family. We're grabbing lunch before they head out, and then we'll meet up. And we turn this corner, and my cousin's like, hey, this is the restaurant we're going to. And I turn to look at the restaurant, and sitting out front is Matt Bresington and Tebs.
Yep.
And so that whole thing started. We went inside. I was like, we'll catch up in a little bit. So we went inside. It started pouring down rain. And we just see him like sprint inside, and the table next to us happened to be open. Mm-hmm. They come in, sit next to us. Paul, being Paul, starts buying round after round after round.
As Paul does.
Yep. And then we're sitting there, and it's like 4 hours later. We had lunch. We basically had dinner, and then there was cheesecake on the menu. And I was like, man, I love some cheesecake. And Bresington was like, man, I love some cheesecake. He's also hammered at this point. And Tebs is like, I don't want cheesecake. Well, yeah, I was like, whatever. So we ordered 3 cheesecakes.
Nice.
It wasn't very good.
Oh, so it wasn't cheesecake. No. Okay.
It was like a lemon cheesecake, but really lemony and really dry.
Ooh, nobody likes dry cheesecake. Fuck that.
But I think the best cheesecake I had, it's hard to beat the Cheesecake Factory.
They do have some bomb-ass cheesecake there. I ain't going to hold you all now. Yeah. Tanner, best cheesecake?
I actually don't know what the best cheesecake I've had in my life is. I never really thought about it. Okay. I'll have to keep tabs on it in the future. But I will say the day I proposed to Pam, we were in LA and we went to this Italian restaurant. I think it was in West Hollywood. We went to this Italian restaurant and we got a cheesecake there. I remember it being pretty good. I don't know if it was the best I ever had, but it was the day I proposed to my wife. So we'll give it to that one.
There you go. I like that.
I retract mine. Sorry. There's a restaurant here on 34 called Lazy Dog. I think it's Lazy Dog.
Lazy Dog got cheesecake like that?
It is fire. I will order like to go just sometimes. It is so creamy. It is so smooth.
Creamy.
Oh, it is so good. Forgot about that.
Whenever we move back, I will need to check that out because we used to go.
I'll go with you.
Hell yeah. Mine was also with my now wife. So I'm kind of taking a page from Tanner's book. But our first trip we ever went on together, we weren't married yet. We were engaged though. Yeah. And we went to New York for like 3 days over Valentine's Day or whatever. And I had gotten dinner reservations at this place. And I'm mad that I don't remember the name of the place off the top of my head. But it was like a rooftop like bar and eatery. It's really nice. It's inside of a hotel. And the food itself was phenomenal. And then they brought the cheesecake out and whenever they had asked us like what kind of cheesecake you want, I was like, well, like what are you known for? And they were like, people do often say we have the best cheesecake in New York. I'm like, that is a spicy statement. I'm like, there's 8 million people in New York. It might be the best cheesecake in New York. That shit was divine. And I dream about that cheesecake to this day. So
was that in the city? Was that in NYC?
Yeah, it was in NYC. Yep.
Okay.
So, well, gentlemen, that's the end of the mailbag. Takes us to the end of the show. Any final comments that you have about episode 100 before I wrap this up? What are they even saying with the cheers?
I don't know.
Hell yeah. Thank you to everybody. We appreciate it.
Thanks for sticking around.
Yep. Yeah, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for believing in us. Thanks for making us your favorite shit show of a podcast for the ELF. And, thanks to the players who think about us whenever they fuck up on the field and they're afraid of getting the Fiasco award. Thanks to all of the fans of the ELF who, comment on our stuff and talk to us. Thanks to the players and the photographers and the coaches and literally everybody, and especially in the ELF, because y'all have made this worth, showing up every weekend for the past every week for the past 2 years to chat with you.
Almost every week, but
we've missed a couple of them.
Life. But honestly, in the grand scheme of things, we haven't missed that many weeks. We've been pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I think this season is the first season we've actually ever missed weeks, and we've missed 2. So
Yeah.
not bad. But thanks so much for listening, everyone. We greatly appreciate your time. This has been the Fourth Down Fiasco. You can follow us on Twitter at fourthdown_pod. You can also follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Fourth Down Fiasco. But this has been Danny, Tanner, and Jordan saying, see you next week.
Hugs and kisses.
Thanks for listening to the #1 American ELF podcast.
Yee!
Well, I like school, and I like football, and I'm gonna keep doing them both because they make me feel good.